What up, what up, what up, what up, everyone? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? As we continue down the Aqua fandom and the Aqua train, as I'm going to call it, we are going to get on this Tolerated. If I remember the context, which I don't think I remember much. Actually, I don't think there is much context I got that she gave about Tolerated. So we're just gonna jump in blind, which y'all know that's how I like to do with Taylor. I've told y'all this once, I'll tell y'all again. If I have to have a bunch of context and a bunch of information to like a song more, it's probably not a good song. So I do y'all a favor by not getting all this context and just jumping in, because if I like it, she did the job. So let's get it. Let's get on this Taylor Swift Tolerated as I continue down my T-Swizzy journey. Gross, I'll never say that again. And let's listen to Tolerated. All these slow songs, Aqua, you funny. You want me to hear all these slow songs? I love it.
I sit and watch you reading with your head low. I wake and watch you breathing with your eyes closed. I sit and watch you. I notice everything you do or don't do. You're so much older and wiser, and I wait by the door like I'm just a kid. Use my best colors for your portrait. Lay the table with the fancy shit and watch you tolerate it. If it's all in my head, tell me now. Tell me I've got it wrong somehow. I know my love should be celebrated, but you tolerate it. I greet you with the battle heroes. Welcome.
This is so, almost got the bumps. Almost got the bumps. We gonna wait a second. It almost got the bumps, but I've said this so many times. Like I've not on video, but like personally in my friend groups. Y'all can probably imagine I'm most people's therapist, right? I mean, we can probably just, like talk about that for hours on end. But then what does the therapist do when the therapist needs a therapist? But normally I say shit like this all the time. And I've had this conversation where it's like, it sounds like y'all are just tolerating each other. It sounds like there's just a bit of toleration going on. There's no really love there. There's no like real magic there. It's just you all tolerating each other and being glorified roommates. And if that's what you want, if that works for you as you build towards a relationship, then I guess that's okay. But it's interesting when one person feels like, again, this goes back to Exile. I feel like Exile is my North Star. I feel like so far in like the 10, 15, however many Taylor Swift songs I've heard so far already in the past couple months, Exile is always the North Star I go to. I don't know what that song did to me, but I think that's my North Star song. So if I keep like letting Exile be my North Star, it's like, if you were told that all I was doing was tolerating it, would you accept the response? Would you accept it, or would you fight me on it? If I said, you know what, this just isn't like, this is in your head. I'm not really feeling this relationship. I'm not really gonna hear it. Would you accept that response? Or would you fight me tooth and nail to figure out why and then try to change my mind? And that is where I feel the problem lies, where people don't accept people's responses. Everyone is choosing to be angry when they're confused rather than understanding. No one is listening to actually listen. You're listening to respond. You're listening to win rather than to learn. And I feel like sometimes people just aren't giving it the best effort. You're not giving it a good faith attempt in the relationship. There's one fight. There's one disparaging remark. There's one disagreement. And now it's like, it's over. You're done now. You were really never in it. There was always one foot out of the door. And so it's interesting that she's going to put, I'm assuming with the rest of the song, she's going to put so much of herself over and over and over within it, only to have this dude tolerate it. It's like, what do you do in that scenario though? Who was that on exactly? It's like, oh, it's definitely on him because well, what if he made his intentions known? Well, yeah, but what if he said that he wasn't in it and he wanted to go? Well, then he should have well, what if she kept, you know what I mean? Like, it's always this, it's not black and white. And I think that's the point I'm getting at. It's like, you see one instance where, oh, that's really shitty. that she's just in a tolerative relationship. All it is being tolerated. But is it that black and white, you know? And so I think relationships are interesting. And anybody who views relationships with like one single stroke brush, I think it's why I like Exile so much. Exile was this song where you could have easily picked a side and then moved on. But then how damaging was that? How damaging is that attitude to pick a side? So I like songs like this where it's like, it forces you to see a different perspective. It forces you to challenge your own worldview with what you think or shouldn't think relationships are or should be. And I don't know. I wish younger people kind of got that. But then again, I also wish older people would get that. We probably wouldn't divorce so damn much.
Heroes, well,
because I've been in her shoes. I've been in her shoes.
I take your indiscretions all in good fun.
See? Yeah, you got to just deal with it.
Sit and listen.
That's crazy, bro. I ain't gonna put my business on the street, man. I'm sorry. Okay, this song is evoking conversation. I ain't gonna put my business on the street, but I've been in that situation where it's like, okay, I'm taking all these bullshit ass, dumbass jokes that you're telling me. I'm taking it all as just you just kind of just negging me a bit, like you doing it in good fun. But at some point, it's not good fun to keep like disrespecting me. Like that's not funny. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's not attractive. I'm going to start taking you at face value. I'm going to start thinking you don't like me. I'm going to start thinking something in my personality rubs you wrong. I'm going to start thinking I'm the problem. And it's like, that's fucked up when you could have just communicated it better rather than talking at me through the guise of a joke. You know what I mean? Taylor, I think I'm your black brother.
I sit and listen. I polish plates until they gleam and glisten.
Just lost.
So much older and wiser, and
older and wiser.
Wait by the door like I'm just a kid. Use my best colors for your portrait.
That's clever.
Lay the table with the fancy shit and watch you tolerate it. If it's all in my head, tell me now. Tell me I've got it wrong somehow. I know my love should be celebrated, but you tolerate it.
Travis, are you tolerating it?
While you were out building other worlds, where was I?
Are you rocking with
Was
it?
that man who threw blankets over my barbed wire? I made you my temple, my mirror, my sky. Now I'm begging for footnotes in the story of your life, drawing hearts in the byline. Always taking up too much space or time. You assume I'm fine, but what would you do if break free and leave us in ruins? Took this dagger in me and removed it. Gain the weight of you, then lose it. Believe me, I could do it if it's all in my head.
I actually really, okay, so this is going to be a critique and then it's going to be a positive reinforcement. I absolutely hate the way she sings this part. I told you, this is that part, this is that style of singing she does where I feel like she's singing like a 10-year-old. Like, and that's really not to knock at her, because I had somebody on my Patreon actually say that, like, she talks to my 10-year-old self, which I thought was funny. But that's always been the thing about Taylor that rubs me wrong sometimes, is she kind of comes apart like it's whining. But then the positive part, I love what she's saying. I just don't like how she's singing it. This whole part right here, I really enjoyed that. And then my favorite line of this whole thing right here. This is my favorite part right here. Gain the weight of you, then lose it. That is fire. That is such a fire bar to be like, and I always say Taylor, like I always say bars. I don't say lies, I say bars. Because to me, this shit is like spoken word. This shit is like spoken word. She's sitting somewhere, she busts out the guitar and she's just talking to you. Like I always look at these songs, a lot of these slow, like ballad like songs she does, I don't even view them as songs half the time. I view it as just spoken word poetry. I'm supposed to just shut up and listen and just absorb what's being said. But I really like this line, gain the weight of you and then lose it, because I always felt that way. Again, some of my past relationships where it's like the moment that I lost it, it was like, you know, this huge weight, this huge burden. It's like, not to diss my relationships, but I mean, like, people are exes for a reason, right? Like, let's be adults. And it's like, you know, I can feel me and my skin and my weight, you know? And it's like, God, I hate how she sang it, but I love what she said. My brain was so conflicted with the flow, with the lyrics of what was being said. That's interesting. Only Taylor does that shit, bro. Only Taylor makes me conflicted. Reminds me of Kendrick and Drake. I heard you was conflicted.
Took this dagger in me and removed it. Gain the weight of you, then lose it.
Yeah.
Believe me, I could do it.
You heard it, period.
My head, tell me now. Tell me I've got it wrong somehow. I know my love should be celebrated, but you tolerate it. I sit and watch you.
It must be nice to be Taylor and know that you can make these simple ass lyric videos and still get 80 million views, bro. Hey, you paid dues though. You deserve it. This was one of my favorite ones to talk about. Any song, I've noticed any song where I can go back to my true North Star, that is Exile. Any song that gives me that perspective where I can discuss relationships, not from the perspective of one person, but from the perspective of the entire group and the dynamic and the dichotomy of what that relationship might be. I like those the most. Those are fun because Taylor herself, like in these songs, she's like, they're just very relationship heavy, and that's just what it is. And that's not the end of the world. That's not a big deal. Who gives a shit? Everybody writes songs that's themed around something. Most of Rin songs are about mental health and his condition. Most of 21 Pilot songs are about mental health. Most of Coast Contra is about they're the best rapper alive. Most of Falling in Reverse are about himself. Everybody writes songs that they know, and that's okay. And people who have dogged Taylor for writing songs about breakups and relationships and this and that, okay, that's what she knows and she's good at it. Shut up. You want her to write songs about the hood? You want Taylor songs to write about video games? What do you want her to write about? Shrek? Like, what are y'all talking about? Let her write about what she wants. But anyway, I like when she writes those songs she's one of the only female artists today that I can think of that writes songs that doesn't make me feel bad to listen to them. Some of y'all need to hear that sentence again. She's one of the only women in music that I know that writes songs that makes me as a man make me not feel bad about listening. What I do like is that she gives me the space that I feel like I'm allowed to be in. There are so many singers who are women that make me feel like I'm not allowed to be in that space. And that's really shitty because I try my damnedest to not support artists that make women feel like they can't be in my space. That's fucking horrible. So I applaud her for that. And it's why I'm reacting to her. And it's why I'm giving her that grace. It's because there were a few female artists I can think of right now where I will never react to them. Like, fuck you. I hope your music career goes down in the fucking toilet. But her, I can see why, not only why the fandom is so hard for her, although there are some things that I disagree with even the fandom about. That is one thing that I don't hear enough people, especially male fans of hers, talk about, that the fact that she creates this space for me to sit here and be able to have intelligent, mature discussions with women in my comments and also men in my comments that no one's attacking. No one feels attacked. No one feels like they're being talked down to. Nobody feels like they're the enemy. Everyone is the enemy in someone's story at some point. If you have an ex, you are their enemy in their story. That doesn't make it right or wrong. We all have vices. We all have negativity that we've given off. The difference is, are we trying to fix it and are they not? Taylor makes me feel like, hey, I can talk about it and have a conversation and we can get to the bottom of it. And I think that's a huge win. Despite what I've said about her singing voice, despite what I think about comparing her to other singers, despite what I think about anything, I've only ever given that compliment so far in the channel to her. Like, I mean, she has that. So I think that's cool. This was a really cool song. My love of my reacting to her aside, this was really cool. I really like how her songs can evoke situations that even I as a man have gone through. It's like, I've just tolerated it. And I know or let me say that differently. I've felt like I have had to just tolerate what I thought was a really good thing. Like, I've seen you tolerating me, and I'm like, I'm really trying though. Like, why are you just tolerating it? Okay, well, can you just give me feedback so I can change it? Oh, okay, no. Oh, okay. So then I guess we'll just keep tolerating it until we're done tolerating it, and then we break up. Like, there's a lot of discussion that can be had around her songs, and I wish people took the time and did that more often. World would probably be a better place. So that was a good one, Aqua. That was a good song. I liked that one. Made me think a lot. Thank you for that. So far, my favorite of the 3 that you've asked me to react to, but we still have to do Marjorie, so that one's coming next. What did you think about it? What did you all think about it? Let me know what you think. How's this gravy train going? How was this chugga chugga Taylor train going? Like, let me know. We'll talk in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, turn it on. I'm sick of telling y'all to turn it on. Turn it on. Bye, y'all. Oh, my music. What y'all think about it? Y'all vibing with it? Y'all messing with it? Let me know what you think. All right, goodbye, y'all. Love y'all. Bye.
We're just living on the TikTok. Scroll quick, make hits, just an ink drop.